Hey there, this is a follow-up video to the one I published last week about my game dev journey thus far. And the video did really well. Totally unexpected, but it is what I hoped for, somewhere in the back of my mind. So very excited about that. It's very encouraging and it is motivating me to keep moving forward. So for all the people who are new here, welcome. My name is Matthew and this is my game studio, Make It So Games. The video last time got a ton of engagement, lots of likes and comments, got a ton of feedback and suggestions from all sorts of people who are trying to get into the game dev industry, people who have been in the industry. So it was really cool to see all that feedback and just a ton of comments. The most views and subscribers I've gotten from any video. So thanks again for all of that feedback. And some of the comments were funny, and the green screen, I know I wasn't using it right, so in this video, maybe I can make use of that. I do want to mention that in the pinned comment down below by me, you're going to find a link to my Discord server, and you can become a member there. And if you want to play my demo, join the Discord server, because there you're going to find a link to my itch page, and then there's going to be a password that you're going to need to access the demo. I'm going to give out that password a little bit later in this video. And then after you play the game, there's going to be also a link on the itch page to a feedback form that just takes a few minutes to fill out. And it'll just give me some feedback on your experience of playing the Ninja game. So feel free to do that. That would be awesome. Now, it's a very thin vertical slice of the game. There's not much content at all, but you can spawn in enemies and then you can fight them. And you can let me know how the combat feels, because really that's what I'm going for, is the fun factor and the combat, and just the overall ambience so far of what I have there. So, and also like the game feel, how it looks and feels, and how the controller is, like the buttons and if it's responsive and all that kind of stuff. So I encourage anyone also in this video to put a comment down below if you have any questions or feedback, or you want to engage with the community. Couple things before I get into game dev. Over the last 7 days, I turned 40, as I mentioned in the last video. I was turning 40 this month, so that happened. Pretty crazy. I don't feel like I'm 40, but I gotta say, time does fly by, as I'm sure most of you know, especially if you're older. But time flies by, so do what you love. If it's making games, start now. Don't wait. And I got a picture here too of when I was like 17 or 18. Man, that feels like it was yesterday. But that's my mom in the picture, not my girlfriend. So also I went for a hike with my girlfriend and 3 dogs. I live in LA County, and we went to the Puddingstone Reservoir Loop, which is a nice little hike in the area. It's at the Frank G. Bonelli Regional Park. And once a week we try to go on a hike. It's good for us. It's good for the dogs. We like to get out there early and get some sun, get some exercise. Just I like to get my mind off of game dev for a little bit, although I'm constantly thinking about it. And then I also went to the gym. I go to the gym, probably 5 days a week. I like to run and do calisthenics. Again, try to take my mind off game dev, but while I'm there, I actually come up with like all kinds of ideas. And so I'm constantly taking out my phone and taking notes. And this past week, because my video was doing so well, I actually took the time while I was at the gym to respond to a bunch of comments to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But yeah, I love going to the gym. It's good, not only physically for me, but mentally. Now let's get into some of the game dev stuff that happened over the last week. Last night I actually attended an indie game dev meetup. It's the second time I've been there. It's in Orange County, Santa Ana, and it's pretty cool. They meet once a month, and people present. You can sign up, and then you can kind of present whatever you're working on. You have 5 minutes, and there was only 5 presenters, including me. But there was like 20 people that attended the event, and after the presentations, anyone who has a demo can do a live demo gameplay, or allow people to just kind of, you set up your computer and people can come by and play the game. So I got a couple people to play the Ninja game. Kind of interesting that not that many people played it. People were just kind of chatting and socializing at that point, and I didn't get as much feedback as I wanted to, but I still got some good feedback. I also set up my office a little bit differently. So like I said, I got the green screen here on the wall now, and the light and the camera are kind of in a different spot. I want to be able to make more of these videos and kind of have a standard setup. So I worked on that. Also the ninja game. Let me just move my notes down. I worked on the mountains, so I'll show some B footage here, but in the background, the far background, the parallaxing layer, I drew those mountains there. I know they're pretty basic, but I think they look pretty good, and it definitely adds to it because before you could just see like the sky behind all the trees and it looked pretty empty. So right now I got the classic mountains in the background. I also worked on the input detection system. So I had this in my last few previous games as well. So I kind of just ported over the code and then tweaked it. Essentially what that does is it keeps track of what gamepads are connected to the computer. And then it also keeps track of when a gamepad is connected or disconnected. And if during gameplay, if a gamepad is disconnected, the game will auto pause. And I think that's a requirement for Steam games. So it's good I got that done. Also, when the game transitions like from room to room and there's like a black wipe on the screen, you can't pause the game. Just like if you try to hit start, it won't do anything. So if you unplug the controller during a transition, it can't auto pause, but it remembers that the controller was unplugged during a transition. And then when the transition is over, it will auto pause if the controller was unplugged during that transition. So I got all that done. I also added some visual effects to the combat in my game. So I took a visual effect provided by Cartoon Coffee. If you don't know who he is, definitely got to check him out. He's awesome. The link will be in the description below. But he animates visual effects for games, and he has a lot of free ones. Also, you can buy some of those assets. And he makes YouTube videos. He makes YouTube shorts. But he's really good, really talented. We actually connected, I think it was last year, and it was on the last version of my Ninja game. I reached out to him through email, and then he made a short of my Ninja game and showing how, adding in a simple visual effect can really give the game a lot more juice. So I'll leave a link to that short and to his channel down below. I also connected with a channel called Games Over Coffee. I think his name's Devon. Man, I hope I get that right. Let me check that out.
Hi there, welcome to Games Over Coffee Consulting. My name is Devon. This is where indie developers submit their games.
And so what he does is he takes games that people submit to him so he can review and critique them and give his feedback. And I believe this was last year as well. In the previous version of the Ninja game, I submitted it to him. He downloaded it, and then he made a video about it. And I think I was asking about feedback if the game was fun and how I could improve the combat. So it was really valuable feedback that he gave me, and I definitely recommend checking out his channel when you get a chance, and I'll put that down in the description below as well. But if you have any suggestions for the Ninja game, I'm looking for a unique mechanical hook. I want to try to come up with something that's just different and unique. I know that's very hard to do nowadays. It's the game industry is so saturated, but if I can come up with something that's I think the game's fun, but I want to try to come up with something that's really unique, and I'm just drawing blanks over here. So if anybody has any suggestions at all, feel free to put that in the comments section below, or even in the feedback form if you played a game. Okay, what else have I been up to? I had to factory reset my girlfriend's old computer. She got a new one, and it's a Windows-based machine. It's a Dell. It's about 6 years old, and I think even back then it was actually pretty low end, on the specs. So it ran pretty slow. So I factory reset it, and now I'm using that computer strictly for GameDev. And I make my game on a Mac, and in order to export an executable for Windows, it has to be on the Windows-based machine. So over the last week, I also factory reset the computer, and now it's up and running. Just has GameMaker on it, nothing else. And I'm using that to basically download my files from GitHub, and then create the executable. So on itch, you'll find a Windows executable that you can download. I might not even have a Mac executable at this point because it's way more of a challenge with Mac, with Xcode and the whole Apple store and all that. I just can't get it to work right now for some reason. So by the time this video comes out, if you go to the itch page, you'll probably only see a Windows-based downloadable executable for the game, which is fine because I think most people do play on Windows anyway. I've also been working on my Discord server, and I am pretty new to Discord, or at least, having my own server. So I created some categories and some channels and trying to build a community over there. I went from like 1 member to 10 members now. Pretty cool. Again, feel free to join the Discord if you want to play my game. The link's in the pinned comment down below. But yeah, it's still a work in progress. I got a ton to do over there on Discord. But some people are engaged. I got a little community going, people chatting, sharing their work. It's pretty cool to see. And I want to showcase a game someone made on my Discord server. His name's John Warner. And he made a game in about 6 hours. It's Halloween themed, and it's extremely simple but really fun. And it goes to show that, small scope games are possible. Obviously, I need to learn that, and it was encouraging to see this game because it just reminds me that a game can be fun even though it's extremely simple and small scoped. And it's motivating me to try to come up with some ideas to make like a very simple game. Hopefully I can make one soon and release it to all my viewers. But yeah, you can play that game too. Check out either the Discord server to find it, or you can find it in the description below. So again, on my Discord server, you'll find a link to the itch page where you can play my game. You can download it. You're gonna need the password, which is gamemaker24, all lowercase, no spaces. The password to access the game is gamemaker24. If you have any friends who might be interested in my channel or might be interested in game dev or playing the demo, feel free to share the link to this channel or the Discord server. That would be awesome. The last thing I want to talk about in this video is about my game series called Trapped, which I talked about in the last video. That series from the early 2000s on Newgrounds had pretty decent success, and a couple people in the comments of my last video suggested that I should make the next one. And you know what? I agree. I've tried making Trap 6 many a time in the past with Flash, but now that I'm using GameMaker, I think it'll be awesome to make the next Trap 6, as like a side project to kind of break up, my game dev with the Ninja game. I'd probably sell it just for like a few bucks on Steam. For anyone who's like out there waiting for Trap 6, which there might be a few, it's coming, and I want people to get involved with it. I'm going to make devlogs about it and kind of document the process. It's going to be a much smaller scoped game than what I've been working on. It's going to be much simpler. It's not going to be any physics. So that's what I'm going to work on next. I think that, I'm going to work on it simultaneously. I'm not stopping the Ninja game, but I'm going to work on Trapped as like a side project, and it'll be really fun to, make devlogs about it and kind of document the whole process. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up soon. If you stuck with me to this point in the video, thanks so much, and make sure you subscribed, like the video, and I'll see you next time. Take care.